This is not coincidence. This is not chance timing or chance alignment. This is interruption. Heaven has stepped into your moment on purpose, and the fact that you are here right now matters more than you realize. Something has been pressing through resistance to reach you, and it did not arrive gently. It arrived urgently. You did not drift into this moment. You were drawn, called, nudged by something deeper than curiosity. You may not have had language for it, but you felt it. A quiet pull, a weight in your chest, a sense that something was unfinished, that something was forming just beyond what you could see. That wasn't imagination. That was preparation. For a long time, it felt like heaven was silent, like prayers rose but never returned with answers, like doors stayed closed no matter how faithfully you knocked. But silence does not mean absence. Silence often means construction. While you were waiting, something was being built. While you questioned, something was being aligned. What felt like delay was not denial. It was positioning. You are not here because you are better than others. You are here because you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. You endured seasons that made no sense. You carried faith without applause. You held on to truth when compromise would have cost you less. That is what separates the chosen from the crowd. Not status, not visibility, not perfection. Obedience in the unseen. There are moments when heaven interrupts the ordinary because destiny can no longer wait. This is one of those moments. You are standing at a threshold, whether you recognize it yet or not. Behind you is preparation. In front of you is movement. And right now, heaven is asking for your attention not to overwhelm you, but to awaken you. If you have felt restless lately, it's because comfort is no longer allowed to hold you. If familiar things feel heavy, it's because you are outgrowing old weights. If your spirit has been stirred without explanation, it's because something is being summoned within you. This is not anxiety. It is awakening. Picture a locked door that has stood in front of you for years. You tried pushing it. You tried waiting it out. You even tried walking away from it. What you didn't see was the key being shaped behind the scenes. Not rushed, not forced. Crafted precisely for the moment it would be needed. That moment is approaching. Heaven does not waste pressure. Every tear refined you. Every disappointment clarified you. Every quiet season sharpened your discernment. You were not hidden because you were forgotten. You were hidden because what was forming in you needed protection before exposure. Roots grow in darkness, long before fruit appears in light. This is where perspective shifts. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are right on time, and heaven knows your name. The same voice that ordered creation into motion has been watching your steps, tracking your faithfulness, waiting for the precise moment when alignment and readiness would meet. And now something has changed. The atmosphere is different. Time feels tighter. Decisions feel heavier. Opportunities feel closer than they used to. That is not random. That is the signal that preparation is giving way to activation. Heaven is no longer waiting for you to become ready. Heaven is responding because you already are. This message is not here to impress you. It is here to orient you, to remind you who you are before the next movement begins. Because what comes next will require clarity. It will require courage. It will require trust that what is unfolding is larger than your understanding, but not beyond your calling. You are not being rushed. You are being summoned. There is a difference. Rushing produces panic. Summoning produces purpose. And right now, heaven is summoning those who can move without needing everything explained first. Pay attention to what is rising in you as you hear this. That quiet knowing, that steady resolve, that sense that something is finally aligning after a long stretch of waiting. This is the moment where the fog begins to lift, where questions start turning into direction, where the weight shifts from uncertainty to anticipation. You are not at the end of something. You are at the beginning of motion. What you have been sensing is real. What you have been preparing for is approaching. And the reason this interruption matters is because once you recognize it, you cannot unsee it. The door is not open yet, but the lock is turning. And what happens next will require you to be awake enough to step forward when the movement begins. Something has already shifted. Even if your calendar looks the same, even if your routines haven't changed, even if people around you don't feel it, your spirit does. You know the air feels different. You know the pace of time has accelerated. You know something invisible is pressing closer. You're not imagining it. The shift has begun. This is not emotional hype or spiritual drama. This is a realignment of things in the spirit, subtle to the natural eye, but unmistakable to those who are tuned in. This is when what heaven decreed starts taking shape on earth. Not someday, not next year, now. The signs are already here. Look around. Systems are shaking. Structures are cracking. Technology stutters, connections break without reason, even time feels like it's bending. It's not just glitches, it's not just instability. These are tremor signals that the old frameworks are giving way. What used to hold everything together is being dismantled to make space for what's coming. You can't explain this to everyone, and you're not supposed to. Because this isn't public revelation, it's prophetic perception. Those who have ears to hear will feel it before they can describe it. That includes you. You're not here to debate the shaking. You're here to move with it. This isn't a season to ignore the signs. It's a season to interpret them. The uneasiness in people, the rise in conflict, the glitches, the timing failures, the strange disconnections, and these are not accidents. They're pressure points where heaven is pushing through. The Spirit of God is agitating the atmosphere to awaken His people from spiritual sleep. And if you're listening, you know you were not made to sleep through this moment. You've seen the patterns. You felt the pull. But now the pull becomes a push. The alignment you prayed for isn't arriving quietly. It's arriving like a wave, moving fast, unapologetic, and aimed directly at the faithful. You will not miss it, but you do need to move with it. Think of tectonic plates shifting beneath the ocean. You don't see it on the surface right away, but everything on the shore will feel it. The same is happening in the spirit. Something foundational has moved, and the surface of your life is about to reflect it. But this shift is not punishment, it's positioning. God is not tearing things down to leave you exposed. He is clearing what no longer fits the blueprint. Anything that cannot hold what's coming will be removed. Anything that drains your energy without feeding your purpose will fall away. The shaking is not a sign of fear, it's a sign of fulfillment. This is not rehearsal. This is not theory. This is activation. The Spirit of God is accelerating time for the sake of those who are ready. What once took years will now happen in days. Doors that required effort will now open with obedience. Resources will come not by chasing, but by calling. The speed of heaven doesn't play by the rules of delay. When the time is appointed, it moves fast. And the time is appointed now. This isn't just happening around you, it's happening in you. Your discernment is sharpening. Your hunger for the presence of God has returned. Your tolerance for spiritual distractions is disappearing. You're not just seeing different, you're becoming different. That's the confirmation. The world will see strange disruptions and call it chaos. But you will recognize the patterns, because the chosen are not blind to divine strategy. We were never meant to live only by what we see. We were called to respond to what we know in the Spirit. The shift will not announce itself on the news. It won't be validated by headlines. It will be confirmed in your spirit. The ache you feel to move forward, the irritation you feel when staying still, the pressure to act even when nothing has visibly changed, that is the Spirit saying now. There is a narrowing of the window, but not for fear, only for clarity. The cloud is moving. The fire is shifting. And when God moves, those who walk with Him must move too. This isn't a message to scare you. It's a call to wake you. Because once the wave breaks fully, hesitation won't be an option. Obedience will be the only path forward. The oil in your lamp matters. The fire in your heart matters. The clarity in your mind matters. Don't wait for the world to validate what God is speaking. Move when He speaks. You are not being swept away by change. You are being carried by the shift you were born for. The delay is over. The signal is live. The moment is real. And if your spirit is awake, you're already beginning to move. Keep going. The next part of your assignment is about to unfold. Now that the shift has started, alignment becomes everything. Not motion for motion's sake, but intentional movement guided by heaven. This is where obedience sharpens. This is where clarity matters. Because what's being unlocked requires more than belief. It requires position. You cannot move with heaven while remaining entangled in what was. And not every weight is obvious. Some distractions come dressed as comfort. Some delays hide inside familiar habits. This is why alignment begins within. Not with rearranging your schedule, but with surrendering your spirit. Not with chasing opportunities, but with quieting the noise until the voice of God is the loudest sound in the room. You already feel it. The tension between what used to fulfill you and what now feels flat. Conversations that once energized you now leave you empty. Environments that used to make sense now feel tight around your soul. That's not dysfunction. That's divine pressure. You're being pulled out of what no longer fits because you are expanding for what's next. Let it go. This is the pruning that protects the promise. The clearing that makes room for the increase. Heaven is not asking you to figure everything out. Heaven is asking you to be honest about what you've outgrown, what you've tolerated too long, what you've been afraid to release. You don't need a map for where you're going. You need a yes, a clean one, not conditional, not cautious. A real yes, fully surrendered, fully aligned, fully available for whatever God wants to do next. That kind of yes changes everything. It draws resources. It attracts favor. It unlocks timing. Why? Because heaven can move quickly with the heart that's already submitted. This moment calls for inner integrity. Not performance, not perfection. But the quiet kind of purity that says, I will not compromise for convenience. That's what alignment looks like now. It's walking light. It's walking clean. It's walking close to God without needing applause for it. And as you align, things will fall away. Let them. Not everyone can go with you. Some connections were meant for your development, not your destiny. There is no bitterness in release, only clarity. The people who are meant to walk with you in this next season will not drain your purpose, they'll recognize it. They won't compete with your calling, they'll confirm it. Heaven is making room around you because what's coming requires more space. Not physical space, spiritual capacity. A cluttered soul cannot carry clear instruction. This is why God is simplifying things. What once seemed important is becoming background noise. And what used to feel optional, prayer, stillness, obedience, is becoming essential. That's alignment. This isn't just about personal holiness. This is about spiritual functionality. When heaven sends orders, you need to be able to hear them. When the door opens, you need to be light enough to walk through it. This is not a time for hesitating between two lives. You cannot mix calling with compromise and expect clarity. The oil in your lamp is your responsibility. Keep it full. The Spirit is fine-tuning your hearing. That's why you've been so sensitive lately. Not emotional, spiritually responsive. You've been noticing patterns, interruptions, delays, nudges. That's not confusion. That's calibration. God is narrowing your focus so you don't miss the signal when it comes. Don't ignore the inner resistance. Don't silence the warning signs. Don't excuse what God is trying to confront. Alignment isn't always a shout. Often it begins as a whisper. This place isn't right anymore. This relationship is shifting. This habit can't follow you. Listen. The refining always comes before the release. The wilderness always comes before the entrance. Not to punish, but to purify. You've been refined for a reason. Heaven doesn't rush preparation. And now that the moment has come, you will know what to do if you stay aligned. Return to stillness. Return to prayer. Clean the corners of your mind. Speak only what builds. Refuse to be drawn into battles that God didn't assign to you. Keep your hands clean, your ears open, your heart light. Because the signal won't be loud. It will come like a whisper, and when it does, you'll either be ready or distracted. This isn't about striving. It's about surrender. The deepest power you carry now won't come from effort. It will come from alignment, from moving with God instead of ahead of Him. You're not here to force doors. You're here to recognize which ones are opening and walk through them at the right time with the right heart. What's coming next won't require more hustle. It will require more sensitivity, more trust, more purity of intention. And if you've been wondering why things feel quieter, why relationships feel unsettled, why your focus has sharpened, it's not disconnection. It's divine alignment. Heaven is setting the stage. The next part is about to begin. Stay in position. Stay awake. Because when it starts, it will start fast. And those who are aligned will not be catching up. They'll be leading the way. The ones who stayed hidden are the ones about to rise. You didn't push to be seen. You didn't fight for attention. You served in silence. You prayed without credit. You obeyed when no one else was watching. And now heaven is calling you forward, not because you asked for a platform, but because you carried the weight when it cost you something. This is the season where the overlooked are being repositioned. Not by man, not by status, not by popularity, but by the hand of God. The same hand that formed you in the hidden place is now lifting you in the open. This isn't promotion for image. This is elevation for purpose. You may not have realized it, but your obedience was building something. Every yes in secret, every time you stayed faithful in the quiet, every time you chose integrity over shortcuts, it all counted. Heaven recorded it. Nothing was wasted. And now, what you built in the shadows is about to shine without trying. This is not about being recognized for recognition's sake. This is about God putting His weight behind your name. Not so you can be praised, but so you can be trusted. Because when you carry what heaven has assigned, visibility becomes responsibility. God is not just raising people. He is revealing them. This is the unveiling of those who were formed in the fire. Those who endured delay and didn't lose their devotion. Those who passed through refining without losing their reverence. The ones who had every reason to quit but didn't. The ones who were underestimated by people but fully known by God. And now the shift comes. You will see sudden invitations, unexplained favor, access to rooms you never knocked on. Your name will be spoken in places your feet have never stood. Don't let it scare you. This is not random. It is response. Heaven is responding to your faithfulness. You're not being called up because of charm. You're being called up because of consistency. This next wave of movement is not for those who perform well. It's for those who steward well. God is looking for those who will carry influence with humility, authority, with integrity and favor, with fear of the Lord. If that's you, and it is, get ready. Because the doors you thought were shut for good are about to swing open without resistance. And when they do remember this, you're not walking in to impress anyone. You're walking in because God appointed you to carry light where it's been missing. You are the solution someone has been praying for. You are the wisdom someone's been searching for. You are the voice that shifts the atmosphere. Not because of ego, because of anointing. This is the moment where alignment becomes action, where quiet preparation becomes loud demonstration. What God placed in you is not small. And it's not for later, it's for now. You'll start to see divine intersections, people whose hearts are tuned to yours. Purpose partners, kingdom connections, not takers, not distractors, but those carrying pieces of the same blueprint. You won't have to chase them. They'll recognize you because heaven is drawing you toward each other. The tribe is coming. The silence is ending. The weight you've carried alone is about to be shared by those who understand it. You're not stepping into the spotlight. You're stepping into alignment with others who have also been hidden and prepared. And together, you will rise, not in pride, but in purpose. Not to dominate, but to lead with love. To build what's been broken. To restore what's been neglected. To carry answers where there's been only noise. Don't be surprised when people start asking where you've been. Don't be confused when they look at you differently. The same ones who overlooked you will now have to watch what God does through you. But don't waste time proving anything. Your life will speak louder than your explanations ever could. There's no need to defend your elevation. God is your witness. Let the fruit speak. You were not made for obscurity forever. You were made to be revealed at the right time. And this is that time. Stay grounded, stay surrendered, stay sharp, because the same God who promoted you will keep you. And what He elevates, He also protects. This is not about flashes of success. This is about sustainable influence rooted in obedience, watered in prayer, grown in secret, and now released in strength. You didn't miss your moment. It was simply maturing. Now it's here, and you're ready. Now that the revealing has begun, there's only one direction left to go forward. This is the part where hesitation can't follow you, where doubt no longer gets a seat at your table, where fear may still whisper, but it no longer gets to drive. What's been placed in you is no longer in development. It's in motion, and you can't shrink to fit where God is expanding. This is not the time to wait for someone else to confirm what heaven has already commissioned. You've been authorized. That stirring inside of you, the urgency to act, to speak, to build, to move, isn't just a good idea. It's your divine assignment calling your name. You don't need another sign. You are the sign. The confirmation is already walking around in your spirit. You were never meant to just witness the shift. You were meant to lead inside it. This is what leadership looks like in the kingdom. Not about status, but about obedience. Not about controlling others, but about carrying weight with grace. You'll find yourself making decisions with clarity while others hesitate. You'll sense when to move before the path is visible. That's not intuition. That's heaven's download. You won't need to force open the doors. They'll open as you approach, because heaven sent you. There's a mantle on you now, on you. One that wasn't handed out in a crowd, but placed quietly on your shoulders when no one else saw. It was fitted for you in the secret place, and now it's being seen in the open. Carry it with strength. Carry it with purity. Carry it with a fire that's been burning inside you for years. People will begin to notice something different. They may not be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. The authority you carry, the weight of your words, the clarity in your steps. It won't come from being louder. It'll come from being rooted. Because true authority doesn't shout. It shifts things just by being present. You're not walking into rooms the same anymore. You're walking in as someone who knows who they are and who sent them. You don't need permission to speak life. You don't need approval to follow God's leading. The days of asking for confirmation from people who were never meant to validate your calling, those days are over. What comes next will move quickly. Don't stall in overthinking. Don't dilute what God tells you to do because you're worried it won't make sense to others. Obedience is your speed now. When the instruction comes, act. When the prompting rises, trust it. When the opportunity appears, step through it. God doesn't speak in circles. When He moves with precision. And He's not just moving around you, He's moving through you. This is why you've been refined, why you've been isolated, why you've been trained in the quiet. You needed to be free of noise so that when heaven whispered, you'd hear it clearly. You're ready not because you feel it, but because He says you are. Let the readiness show in how you walk now. No more apologizing for carrying fire. No more explaining why you think differently, see differently, feel ahead of your time. You were built for this moment. You were designed for this level. You're not being promoted for potential. You're being positioned because you stayed faithful through pressure. So step forward not like a guest, but like someone who belongs. Not with arrogance, but with certainty. There's work to do. There are atmospheres to shift. There are strategies heaven is releasing, and they are landing on those who are not just listening, but moving. That's you. Don't wait for ideal conditions. Move when He says move. Don't wait for perfection. Obey while the path is still unfolding. You'll be surprised how much clarity comes with motion. Heaven is partnering with the willing, not just the qualified. God is looking for those who will say yes, even if it costs them comfort, even if it stretches their faith, even if it breaks their routine. Because this moment isn't about maintaining what was, it's about activating what is. The time is here, not just for dreaming, for doing. There's an acceleration in the atmosphere. You'll notice things begin to align without explanation. Resources showing up at the right moment. People crossing your path who hold pieces of the assignment. Unexpected favor opening doors you thought were closed for good. That's not luck. That's movement. That's momentum. That's God. Don't wait to feel ready. Move in faith. Don't wait to be noticed. Move in purpose. Don't wait for things to slow down. Move with the current, not against it. You are not being swept away, you are being sent. Every step you take now is an answer to someone's prayer. Every word you speak now carries the weight of heaven. Every room you enter now is different because you carry the presence of God with you. This is not the season to hide. This is the season to lead. You were not just called. You were commissioned. And now it's time to walk like it.